So very good day to everybody present here. Once again, we are back with object-oriented programming. So in today's session, we'll discuss about how you try to overload the extraction as well as insertion operators. So that is the major topic of concern. Then we discuss about how we consider memory as a stream object. Then we'll discuss about some command line arguments. And of course, we end this class with the printer output. So this is especially for you, my dear students and young researchers, and you can reach me at dr.christoananth@gmail.com. So before beginning the session, let me thank God for giving me this golden opportunity to deliver this useful session, to share my knowledge among my fellow national, international participants, students, and young researchers. So in today's session, we'll have introduction to C++ stream class structure. Then we understand how memory can be considered as a stream object. We discuss about the command line arguments in C++ and we'll have a C program to illustrate this command line arguments. And finally, we end this class with the printer output in different scenarios. So I've already given the open-ended project work for you. Please complete them at your best available time and I will be checking them very soon. So about the C++ stream class structure. So generally we will have input operation as well as output operation as the built-in data types using the in the C++. And here for this case, for the input and output operations in the data types, we'll have extraction operator double greater than symbol and stream insertion operator which is double less than symbol. So both these insertion operators, stream insertion as well as stream extraction operator, can also be overloaded. They can actually perform this input as well as output for user defined types like a object. So maybe if you can have a program hash include iostream using namespace std function class distance. So in the private class you can have int feet, so that you can define from 0 to any infinite value, and maybe int inches. So inches maybe from 0 to 12 you can consider. And then we'll have, after the private class, we'll have public class where you'll have constructors distance and then feet equal to 0 and you initialize inches equal to 0. Then you compute the distance int f comma int I, feet is equal to f and inches equal to I. Okay. And you have the friend function, friend output stream, ampersand operator, output stream and output. You'll have the constant distance ampersand d. Then you print the output, print output f. Okay, so that is actually feet, d dot feet, and I, which is nothing but d dot inches. It is specified in the inches. Then you have return output. Then you have the output stream. You have input stream, friend input stream, ampersand operator, input stream ampersand input, distance ampersand d. So you compute the input. You get the input d dot feet and d dot inches. Then you return the input. Then you have a driver code in main function distance d1 11 10 and then d2 5 11. Okay, and then d3. Then you print out, enter the value of the object, cin, it is d3. So you compute first distance d1, second distance d2, third distance d3. Okay, and then you return 0. So whenever you're going to go with the enter the value of the object 70 and then 10. So first distance it will compute. Okay, so for the first distance it will be computing d1. Okay, so d1 you'll have f the feet 11 feet and inches 10 inches. Okay, and second distance feet 5. Okay, 5 feet 11 inches, and third distance 70 feet 10 inches. So this is how it goes with the assigning with the case of the distance, okay, in feet and inches. So this is how it goes with this one. For example, for this one 11 feet. Okay, so that is what it is specified here, 11 feet 10 inches. Okay, and for the second thing it is actually 5 feet 11 inches, and d3 you can have 70 feet and 10 inches. So this is how it goes with the C++ stream class structure. So you can also consider memory as a stream object also, but instead of going into the definition, we'll understand the program for which you can understand the logic of how the memory can be treated as a stream object. So you'll have str.cpp for the string, and then str stream memory objects. You'll have hash include str strea. Okay, so that actually defines the output stream. Okay, ostr stream class. and then you'll have constant in size equal to 80. So that is actually the size of the memory buffer that you're going to specify. Then void main function character membuff of size, that's a buffer in this memory. And then you have output string ostr string o member of membuff comma size. So that is going to make the output memory object. So that is how it goes. And you initialize the variables. Initialize object oj equal to 77, double od is equal to 890.12, and then character o stream 1, okay, so that is Kafka, and character o stream 2, that is fruit, okay. Then you output the data to the memory object. So o mem, okay, that's object, okay, and then od, it's od, object stream 1, object stream 2, and then ends, okay. So it's going to end the buffer with the new line character /0. Then it's going to display this memory buffer. So cout membuff, and you are going to have some new variables to the input, okay. So character dummy of 20 int ij, double id, okay, and character input stream 1 of 20, character input stream 2 of 20, and then input stream istr stream imm. So it's going to make this input memory object, okay, membuff comma size, and it's going to extract the data into the new variables. So imm, it's dummy ij dummy id, and then dummy istr1 and istr2. So this is how you are going to extract the data into the new variables, and you have to display the variable. So cout /n ij equal to, so that is actually ij, and /n id equal to, that's actually id, and /n istr1 is actually istr1, and /n istr2 is equal to istr2. So this is how it goes with this memory as a object. Then you'll have this command line arguments also. So even in the C++ or maybe C program, you'll have this main function, and definitely it is going to have a return type for the int, okay. So even also without the parameters also you can specify. So maybe in main function, so you'll have a list of arguments within the command line, okay. So we can also give the command line arguments in C program or maybe C++ program also. So it can be given after, you know, the name of the program even in the command line shell of the operating system. And in order to pass this command line arguments, we actually define this main function. So maybe we'll have the number of command line arguments and maybe the list of command line arguments. So you'll have in main function, in argument C, character star argument V. Okay, so you'll have the list of arguments, or maybe you can have in main function in argument C, character star argument V without the braces. Okay, so you can have the command line arguments. So there are some properties. You'll have argument C, that is actually argument count. So it's actually the int, and it's going to store the number of command line arguments that is passed by the user, including that name of the program that you are specifying. For example, if you have to pass the value to a program, then maybe the argument C would be actually 2. Maybe one you can specify for the argument and another we can specify for the program name. Okay, and argument C value should be non-negative. And if you take in the case of argument V, it is actually argument vector. So it's actually the array of character pointers which is going to list all the particular arguments. And if this argument C is greater than 0, then this array elements from argument V of 0 to argument V of argument C minus 1 will actually contain pointers to the string. Okay, so argument V of 0 is the name of the program, and after that we will have argument V of argument C minus 1. Okay, so that is actually every element is considered as a command line arguments. So this is a C program to illustrate command line arguments. So you'll have hash include stdio.h in main function. You'll have int argument C character and character star argument V. This is for the vector. So int counter printf program name is actually argument V of 0. So if this argument C is equal to 1, then you print no extra command line argument passed other than the program name. And if this argument C is greater than or equal to 2, then you will have to print the number of arguments passed as actually argument C. Then maybe you will have following other command line arguments passed. Okay. Then you will have the for statement for counter equal to 0, counter less than argument C, and counter plus plus, and you print the argument V. Okay, so counter argument V of counter and return 0. So this is how you try to have a command line arguments. Then you can print the output in different scenarios even without the argument, or maybe with the 2 or 3, maybe 3 arguments also you can go with them. So you will have without the argument, maybe if you are going to compile the code and maybe execute the code without the argument, maybe it will have like this one. Okay, a dot out, program name is actually dot a dot out. Okay, and you will have no extra command line argument other than the program name. And maybe you can have also have three arguments even. And maybe if you are going to execute this particular code, or maybe compile it and execute it with three arguments, then you will have like a dot out first, second, and third. Okay, so program name is actually a dot out, and you will be getting this one. The number of arguments passed is 4, and following on the command line arguments which are passed. Okay, so argument v of 0 is actually a dot out, argument v of 1 is first, argument v of 2 is second, argument v of 3 is third. Okay, and then you will have the single argument also. So when the above code is actually same thing, if you are going to compile it and execute it with a single argument, then you will have everything on a single line. So a dot out first, second, and third within the double quotes. So this is how it goes with the three arguments, one argument, and no arguments at all. And maybe for the output, you will have program name is actually a dot out, and number of arguments passed is 2. So following on the command line arguments. So argument v of 0 is actually a dot out, argument v of 1 is first, second, and third, and you will also have single argument in the quotes which are separated by space also. So within the single quote, you can have first, second, and third, and maybe you will have program name is actually a dot out, number of arguments passed is 2, and following other command line arguments passed. So you will have argument v of 0 a dot out, argument v of 1 is actually within a single line first, second, and third. So this is how you go with the printing the output in different scenarios with the single argument, three argument, no argument, and of course single argument in quotes, single quote which is separated by a space. So I request you to complete all your open-ended project work. Please submit them at your best available time, and I will be checking them very soon. Thank you.